Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Offside Opinions. This is episode 11. I'm Ashwini Otia,
And I'm Levi.
and we'll jump right in with not a recap because if you care about the Pro Bowl, you're
This is
of
not the podcast for
yeah. Not with the recap, but with the picks for the Super Bowl. We promised y'all last time that we would do it. We're doing it today. Who do you have?
So unfortunately, I have the Chiefs. We've seen too many times in the past that running backs and running games in general struggle against the Chiefs defense, and that's been definitely the only bright spot for the Eagles offensively. Also, the Chiefs have refs and black magic working for them, and everything's looking like a three-peat this year.
I lost way to say it, I guess. Kind of disappointed in you. I don't have the Chiefs. I also don't have the Eagles. I'm Team Meteor. And by that, I mean, I'm hoping the meteor actually falls and destroys the Super Bowl venue. Maybe Hurricane Katrina comes back for seconds.
Maybe the Superdome power shuts off again.
Yeah. Any of that would be greater for me than watching either of those teams win.
Yeah.
I hate Philadelphia's fan base. I said that last week. I'll say it again. I hate their fan base. And I hate the entirety of the Chiefs team anyways. It's mostly because of the Taylor Swift stuff. But, yeah, give me the meteor any day of the week.
Power outage.
But, if I was like forced to choose otherwise, never come to my head, I'm going to go probably with the Eagles. I don't want to see the Chiefs three-peat. Okay, and as much as I hate Philadelphia's fan base, I can respect the fact that they love their team, and some of the things they do for their team I hate it, but at the end of the day, I'll give props to the Eagles. They play pretty well. I think they can beat the Eagles.
If I want to see a team win, it'd be definitely the Eagles. I didn't love the results of the last Chiefs-Eagles Super Bowl, and I also really want to see Saquon get what he deserves for carrying that team on his back. So I want the Eagles to win, but like I said, I don't think it's likely.
Yeah, not a lot to say, unfortunately. But yeah, our full analysis on how each team could win was posted last week on last week's pod. So if you are really wanting to watch or know about that, then go check out last week's.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are our picks for the Super Bowl. We'll move in with our call-ins. I know, right? We just started.
Pretty early.
But I guess sometimes it pays off to be early. So while I go and put this in the chat, y'all must be wondering about the title, of course. Justin Tucker.
Yeah.
And you must be wondering about the thumbnail as well, because why not? Your thoughts on the Justin Tucker drama?
Yeah, it's he's definitely not. I mean, he had a terrible year this year, and now all of this, he's not helping himself out at all. I don't think he deserves a starting job next year. I don't think he deserves a job, period. But I also think that he's probably still going to get one. I think he's going to ruin whatever team he's on culturally and with all the missed kicks he had this year. So yeah, I think he deserves to be out of the NFL. I think
saying that he's out of the NFL is a bit of an overstatement.
Dude, he played so horrible. Before all this drama, people were already saying he was washed just because of how horrible he's playing. Now with all this, come on, people are doing the exact same thing for Deshaun Watson.
No, but that's because Deshaun Watson is actively putting his team in a hole. I'm not saying Justin Tucker's not, okay? I'm not saying that he's not, but Justin Tucker, I think he'll still have a job. I think he'll still have a starting job too. The reason is because his leg is still as good as ever. Okay, sure, his accuracy's off.
Yeah. Okay?
But if you put every kicker in front of me, and you tell me for your life which one do you think is going to hit a 70-yard field goal? I mean, any day of the week, I'm picking Justin Tucker.
Give me a few years, and we'll see if Will Reichard can get there with how amazing he played this year.
Stop. The second you said Will Reichard and give it a few years, I immediately was like, oh, this man's off.
Okay, come on, give me a Harrison Butker at this point.
No.
In all seriousness.
You want the guy who tore his meniscus?
Dude, healthy Harrison Butker. Okay, fine. Healthy Harrison Butker.
Have you seen his kicking form?
No argument.
He slides his knee across the ground as he kicks a field goal.
Dude, you can't argue with the stats, dude. He's playing the best.
He's playing the best accuracy-wise. The farther away you go,
So you want washed-up Justin Tucker over, but easily the best kicker in the league?
Yes.
Dude, come on.
If you were told that you will die if this person cannot hit a 70-yard field goal, who are you picking?
A few years ago, absolutely Justin Tucker. This year, absolutely not.
Who are you picking? Tell me a name.
Either Harrison Butker or maybe Chris Boswell.
Okay, first thing, Chris Boswell. His career high is not as high as Justin Tucker's.
Dude, yes, but Justin Tucker's never hitting his career high again. Never even hitting close to it again. Not even close. Dude, I don't care if his leg is still powerful. If he can't have accuracy, the farther away you go, the harder it is to kick accurately. I'm taking an accuracy kicker and, putting my life on hoping that they can kick it far enough.
Fair enough, I guess. But anyways, excluding that, we were talking about the drama of Justin Tucker.
Yeah, we got a little carried away there.
If the Browns put together a trade for him today, okay, this is what I think it would be. 1 first-round pick, 1 second-round pick. They'll probably throw in Myles Garrett in there because he didn't even want to trade. And they'll ship all of that to Baltimore just to get Justin Tucker.
Yeah.
That seems like a Browns thing to do, right?
Yep, absolutely.
That seems like the most Browns thing to do.
Yep. Throw in Jameis Winston too. Make it.
They won't trade J-Mo. J-Mo is he is peak for your culture. And to balance out Deshaun and Justin Tucker, you would need Jameson Williams there.
Yeah.
But yeah, all of that aside, what he's done is, if the NFL doesn't investigate into that, I will be highly surprised.
Mm-hmm.
And if they actually don't investigate into that, I will be very mad too.
Yeah, because Deshaun Watson got suspended for it. He absolutely should.
Yeah, I think Justin Tucker, this is what's gonna happen. He's gonna follow the Deshaun Watson route, as we like to call it.
Yeah.
He gets suspended, traded, suspension continues, and he comes back to face his old team.
Mm-hmm.
And then he plays like absolute booty. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, and maybe add some injuries in there too if you really want to compare it to Deshaun Watson's.
But yeah, Justin Tugger. That's his new nickname. The Tugger. Moving on. How should we fix the Pro Bowl?
I don't know if there is a way you can completely fix it. I think, motivating the players to try is going to be really, really, really difficult. But they can definitely help it out by testing the skill test better beforehand. Like I was watching the skills competition for the receiver catching or whatever, and they clearly had not tested it out beforehand because not only it was just not entertaining. They can definitely fix that up by making the challenges more not feel like a first grade recess or something. That would help, but it would also help if the tests were even possible. Like the diving catch one, no one could even get close to touching it with their fingertips because they clearly hadn't tested the angle of the thing that was launching the ball. It's just stupid stuff like that they need to plan out better.
I think you said this right. The highlight of the Pro Bowl is really the skills competition, not the actual Pro Bowl, because ain't no player trying to try a flag football competition. Mm-hmm. All right. I mean, when the final score of any football game is 76-63, there's some sort of issue.
Yeah.
In this case, it's that flag football nobody's trying.
Yep.
I think they need to put some skin in the game. Okay. The losing team, for example. This would be kind of radical of the NFL, and I don't think they would do this. But a losing team has to play winning team's fines, just all the season fines.
That would be crazy.
The losing team has to pay, or
something money related would.
Yeah, I think really that's what needs to be happening. Is something money related is going to motivate the players to try more. Mm-hmm. The NFL probably won't do that, but I think that's the route that they need to take.
Or they could motivate them with based on your performance in the previous Pro Bowl, you're more likely to get in the next one. That could also help. It could be a slight weighing into it, not anything major.
That's not going to get anybody to try just because it's oh, cool, I got in a Pro Bowl.
Well, I mean, it is making it in is kind of a big statement.
I mean, not when you got Drake May throwing for 2,800 yards in the regular season, then making it in. At that point, it's a participation bowl unless it's a Pro Bowl. You need to somehow motivate the big names like Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, these kind of players who chose not to go this year. Like they explicitly said, I'm not going this year.
Yeah.
Motivate them to somehow make it, which makes the entire event more fun to watch.
Yeah.
And like with the skills competition, you said that it was something about like they had a machine throwing the ball?
Oh yeah, they have for like the receiver catching. It's like one of those baseball like automatic pitchers.
Oh,
you put the ball in there and it launches it. Yeah, they had not positioned them properly at all.
They should be humans.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, humans. I mean the quarterback.
That could help with the skills competitions for the quarterbacks too. Yeah, combine some of the skills.
Yeah, they used to do it where the quarterbacks would throw the balls to the wide receivers, and then it would just be like a time thing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's news to me. I did not expect that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Pro Bowl, it's a lost cause unless they start introducing some sort of prize or rewards into it that will somehow motivate the players. Trade news. Myles Garrett requested a trade.
Yeah.
We'll get to him in a second. But Cooper Kupp, yeah, it's a sad day. LA is seeking to trade him in the offseason. What do you think is the best team for him to be traded to?
I think he should go to the Patriots. That's personally definitely where I think he should go. Like he would perform the best there. I think I could also see him going to the Raiders. That could be good. I don't think the DK Metcalf rumors. One, I don't think it's going to happen, and two, I don't think it should happen because I don't think DK Metcalf is worthy of like a receiver one spot anymore. And the Raiders, they have plenty of receiver twos at this point, and like Jacoby Myers and like they got Brock Bowers. They need a standout wide receiver. I think Cooper Kupp would do pretty well in Las Vegas.
If you're a team which needs a short-term wide receiver one, so I think the Raiders could fall into that category. Their defense is pretty good.
Yeah.
I think you could also argue for the provided Tyreek leaves, the Dolphins, they might need that.
Yeah.
The Patriots, I understand where you're coming from with that. I just don't think they're in a dire need of a wide receiver one.
That's true. It's not a win now situation. They need someone long term. I guess.
Yeah,
I think about that.
I think for them the best case scenario is a rookie.
Yeah.
Or like a guy who's like third or fourth year in the league. Something like Jalen Waddle, that kind of player who's like, wide receiver one upside right now, playing as a wide receiver two, give him that opportunity maybe to make that leap.
Get Jalen Naylor in there.
God. You might need. I mean, you might as well say if the Giants fix up that defense plus draft a good wide receiver for Malik Neighbors plus Cooper Kupp plus whoever they take in the draft. I mean, I think that would be a pretty good combo for that quarterback.
Yeah.
Really. If the defense is good. Or you could even make the argument for the Bills, really.
Because Amari Cooper didn't work out, and he's going to have
Amari Cooper either A, didn't work out, or B, he's just not built chemistry with Josh Allen at all.
Yeah.
In terms of the other wide receivers the Bills have, Keon Coleman, you could make an argument for him to be really, really good, I guess. I
think if they keep, Khalil Shakir and Keon Coleman around, it's going to turn into the Packers situation where you really need that standout wide receiver.
Yeah. The Packers would also be a pretty good. They're in a win now situation.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
So they would be a good fit too.
Yeah.
That's a good bring up. Of course, the obvious one is the Chiefs.
They're not going to keep DeAndre Hopkins.
They're not going to keep D-Hop. Okay, they're probably not going
to.
They're
probably going to not keep Marquise Brown either. So
they're probably not going to keep Juju, Marquise Brown, or DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, so
that's literally the three people they went and they got from free agency.
Yeah, so literally they're left with one receiver, Xavier Worthy. So they're going to need someone. Yeah.
So I'm guessing that and
Rasheed Rice, I guess. But.
Provided he comes back and he's still the same player.
Yeah.
And provided he doesn't do any more.
Doesn't do anything else stupid.
I think that really Cooper Kupp on the Chiefs would be the best fit, but nobody wants to see that. So we're all hoping that doesn't happen. But I think whichever team he goes for, in LA's perspective, whichever team that they trade Cooper Kupp to, I think they will get a haul from that team.
Yeah, he played really well this year, but I also...
to be fair, he was injured for most of the season.
Yeah.
When he came back, Puka Nacua took over. So his latter end of the season didn't go so well.
Mhm.
But at the beginning of the season, I mean, he started off pretty strong. He came back. He had a pretty good game. It was just after that he started getting worse just because Puka was being Puka.
Yeah, and also for a team like you mentioned, the Giants, a team with a bunch of young receivers, his experience would also really help in developing them.
Yeah,
So
because he is still one of the top three not wide receivers, but route running wide receivers in the league.
yeah,
Like his route running is still pure. It's just Puka exists.
yeah.
Not a lot of ways to say that either. Now, Myles Garrett. Referenced him a little earlier, but what do you think is the best fit for Myles Garrett?
Best fit for Myles Garrett. I mean, I think the Commanders would be a great fit because their defense is not bad. They just need a really strong, consistent pass rush. I think he would he would really solve that problem. And if they could get someone young, either from a trade or from the draft, he could also, like I said, with Cooper Kupp, he could help with, developing a young player. Yeah, I think he'd be great for the Commanders.
I think the Commanders are a good option, but I think the Bengals should go all in on trying to get Myles Garrett. Like, not give up crazy amount of people or anything, but I think provided the Bengals can re-sign T. Higgins, because we'll get to him in a second too.
Yeah.
But provided they re-sign him, I think they should go after Myles Garrett because he would be a huge boost for that defense.
Yeah, I thought about the Bengals. The main thing with that was he's expensive, and I think they need to save cap space for their secondary.
Yeah, okay, I can see that argument too. I think the Bills would be another great fit for Myles Garrett.
Yeah. Especially if they lose Von Miller. We'll see.
If Von Miller stays alongside Von Miller, that would be a scary defensive line.
Yeah.
You could make the argument for the Patriots, but I'm pretty sure Von Miller wants to be in a win-now scenario. So I don't think that would happen.
Yeah.
The Texans could use him, but it's like they already have Will Anderson.
They already have plenty of.
And they already have
rushers,
Daniel Hunter.
Yeah.
But
dude, he was so expensive. We couldn't keep him around.
But yeah, I don't think that'll happen either. The Rams.
I mean, food for thought. That would be pretty scary.
You go from Aaron Donald to Jared Verse.
Upgrade that even
Braden
more.
Fisk.
Yeah.
And Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
That might be.
That would be crazy.
That might be very
crazy.
scary. If that happened, I'm pretty sure every O-line in the league would be like, nah, dude,
we're out of here. We saw what he did to Sam Darnold without Myles Garrett.
Yeah, I think, realistically speaking, the Commanders should go all in on trying to get him.
Mm-hmm.
Because he would be the type of guy to instantly take their defense from C to B.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they need. They generated no pressure. Even in that NFC Championship game, it just didn't feel like there was any pressure being generated.
Yeah.
T. Higgins. Let's say that he does not re-sign with the Bengals. Where do you think he will go?
I think, first off, it's really likely he resigns with the Bengals, given how long they've been working together, and two, him and Jamar Chase are almost inseparable. I don't think that they're gonna let him go.
Apart from that, Joe Burrow did say that. I think it was Higgins who said that me, Jamar, and Burrow would like to stay together.
Yeah.
If that's our main goal right now.
Yeah.
If it doesn't happen, then it's not what I wanted, but it has to happen. But yeah, I think he's the type of guy who can excel in that wide receiver one role. He's not
possibly.
He's not too old. I think he's only 25, 26 years old.
Yeah.
I think he can really, if he goes to the Packers, I think he'll be in a pretty good scenario.
Yeah. I was more thinking Rams because both him and Puka are kind of in and out, receiver 2, receiver 1. Which is it? Because they're both really good for receiver 2. Maybe Puka probably will be there at the receiver 1 spot for sure. But I think he would
once Cooper Kupp is gone. It's Puka Nacua is gonna be wide receiver 1. There's not even a debate about that.
Yeah.
We saw that last year when Cooper Kupp was injured, right? He put him in that season.
Yeah.
That's wide receiver 1.
Yeah, and this year, he was it felt like he was shoving him out of that spot, yeah.
Yeah, and even this year, it was when Puka was healthy, he was getting the targets over Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
So I think, for sure, he's wide receiver 1. But T. Higgins, I think you could make the argument that he might go to the Rams. The reason why I don't think that's going to happen is because whoever Cooper Kupp gets traded for, they're going to get a wide receiver probably in return, or they're going to get draft picks to use on a wide receiver. I think that's what's going to happen there. I mean, you could make the argument that he goes to the Chargers.
Yeah, that's another team that like I think they definitely are going to be trying to get rid of Quentin Johnston this year, or at least not be involving him as much. So I think they're going to need, Ladd McConkey's still like not really their receiver one rise. So
I mean, Ladd McConkey I think has all the attributes to be a wide receiver one. It's just it was his first year in the league.
Yeah, he needs time.
And Quentin Johnston was also getting targeted a little too much.
Yeah.
So I think provided that Ladd McConkey is given a little bit of time and even gets like the veteran help of like T. Higgins, because he's been in the league for a few years now.
Yeah.
I think that he can be wide receiver one for sure. I think another very possible place that T. Higgins goes to is, again, the Dolphins, provided, Tyreek Hill actually leaves.
Yeah.
Surprising, I haven't really heard any news about Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
I
mean, at the end of the season, everyone gets a little dramatic, but he was like acting like he was definitely going to retire.
Yeah,
so we'll see whether that settles or not.
He said he was like, "Peace out."
Peace out. Yeah, that was it. It was like Antonio Brown again. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Sneaky team that Teagans might go to is the Bucks. Actually, you saying not AJ Brown? I mean Brown.
Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown. Really jogging memory there.
Because Chris Godwin will be a free agent, so.
Well, he's also old.
Yeah.
And injured. Mike Evans, old and kind of injury prone now. I mean.
Yeah.
Maybe not. But I think Teagans could be that next step for the Buccaneers franchise if they so choose to go get it.
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp might go to the Jaguars. Teagans might go to the Jaguars. They really need a wide receiver one.
Yeah, the Jaguars.
They have Gabe Davis. Hold on. They don't need a wide receiver one. Sorry. They need a wide receiver two who can mentor BTJ.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Brian Thomas.
I forgot about Brian Thomas Jr. for a second.
Yeah.
I think Cooper Kupp is that mentor that they need. If they're going to get him or not, I don't know. I mean, look, Brian Thomas Jr. has the speed. That's great. If he improves the route running to where he's like Cooper Kupp in route running, I think he could literally be the next very good wide receiver.
Mm.
It's just they need that mentor.
Yeah.
And that mentor, I think, will have to be Cooper Kupp. But, again, we'll see about that. So, cap casualty for the Niners. That's been a little hot topic recently.
Yeah.
I recently read somewhere, I forget where, but they said Kyle Juszczyk, the 49ers fullback, might be cap casualty. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think there's a lot better candidates for cap casualty. I could see him being cap casualty because they're really over the cap the salary cap. So that could definitely be a problem. I think like I said, there are way better candidates. Personally, I think like Debo absolutely needs to go. I think Christian McCaffrey maybe we'll see how. Like I think they need to assess him during like training camp and see how well he's recovered. But if he's not doing that well, I think he might even be a better candidate than Kyle Juszczyk. But he's definitely up there.
Yeah. So I just pulled up this list. Y'all can't see it, but it's of all these players right now for the 49ers cap. Okay? So Deebo Samuel, if they were to cut him, okay, they would be in $31.5 million of dead money, I think is what that says. The cap savings would be around $15 million.
Yeah.
Okay, so $31 million dead cap, $15 million dead. I don't think they'll cut any of these players. I think they'll just try to explore.
Yeah, I think you should try and trade him.
Because this would be a lot of dead cap money, and I don't think they would be doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you on the Deebo point. You might make an argument for Brandon Ayuk. I mean, you probably could after the season that he just had.
I think it didn't help with him, at least, that he got signed pretty late, so I think he missed a lot of like off-season training stuff. So we'll see if he can fix that up this year.
Yeah, but I think Kyle Juszczyk, he would be a candidate. I think what they first need to get rid of is Deebo and maybe Ayuk.
Yeah.
Moving on from the 49ers cap casualty, we have some late news. So I think this was around 2-3 weeks ago. We just didn't really know about it. I didn't really know about it until like a week or two ago, or a day or two ago. Colin Cowherd, he said that if you think that Shadir Sanders is a true QB1 and has the potential to be a QB1, trade TJ Watt, George Pickens, and 2 first-round picks
Absolutely not.
to the Titans.
No, don't even consider it. Don't even consider it. You know, TJ Watt is literally the saving grace of the entire Steelers team right now. I think there are definitely some potential for success offensively if they can figure out their quarterback situation. But if they lose TJ Watt, not to mention like first round picks and George Pickens, if he goes out the door, who do they even have in terms of wide receivers? I still don't think he deserves a wide receiver 1 job anymore, but like they gotta have him around for a wide receiver 2 for next season if they want to give their offense a chance for success. So don't do that trade.
I cannot think of in the recent memory a dumber take than this.
Yeah.
A take that I think should go down as one of the dumbest takes of all time. Like, this is up there with Kendrick Perkins saying that Stephen Curry will never win another NBA championship. This is literally up there with that.
I mean, yeah, if the trade goes through, this is rivaling the Deshaun Watson trade, dude. Like, this is horrible.
No GM in their right mind is trading the defensive player of the year and 2 first-round picks for maybe, I think he also said a player, I forget who, but it's an irrelevant player.
I think it was George Pickens, but yeah.
Well, no, that was from the Steelers. I'm saying from the Titans, you get a player.
Oh,
but that was irrelevant. And then it was like, I don't think it was any good player. If anything, if you really want that pick from the Titans, which I don't think you need, I don't think Shadir Sanders is going to help you in any way. I think instead, because you don't have any wide receivers, you target that with your draft pick, and you get Russ or Fields, whichever one's your quarterback, an actual target to throw to.
Yeah.
But I think that if you're going to make a trade for this 2nd overall pick from the Titans, what you do is you package up Najee Harris, because he's not that good. You package up George Pickens with that, and you package up not a first rounder, or not. What I mean by not a first rounder is not a first rounder from any other draft. Take your first round pick for right now, send all of that to the Titans.
Honestly, I think throw Patrick Queen in there. Keep George Pickens as a receiver too. Patrick Queen did nothing.
I mean, you might as well do that. I don't care who you send.
Not TJ Watt.
You cannot send TJ Watt. Like, for all I care, send Justin Fields. I don't care. If you send TJ Watt, you are basically saying, screw my franchise.
Yep.
Like, there's not a lot of ways to say that. It's screw my franchise. That is on the level of the Luka Anthony Davis trade. Which is a perfect segue into our next thing. In honor of perhaps the worst trade in recent NBA history, let's revisit the worst trades in recent NFL history. So, grade these trades. The Bears received DJ Moore, 2 first-round picks, 1 second-round pick for the 1st overall draft pick, which is Bryce Young, of course, for the Panthers. The Bears came away with those picks with an OT off the tackle, Tyreek Stevenson, the guy who was taunting the Commanders crowd and then tipped the ball into the hands of the Commanders wide receiver from that big Hail Mary, and Caleb Williams.
So, worst trade of all time.
No,
one of the worst trades of all time.
I wasn't saying worst trade of all time. I'm saying
recent history.
Yeah, recent history.
Yeah, okay.
One of the worst trades in recent history.
I think, as of like halfway through this season, yeah, it's up there. But if Bryce Young keeps improving the way he did like late season, like if he has another good year next year, I think he could totally like reverse that being a bad trade. I think it's still like Caleb Williams improving under a new coach will also like add to it not being a great trade, and DJ Moore's continuing success, but like it definitely won't be as glaringly bad if Bryce Young improves.
Yeah, I I don't know on which planet getting a first round, like the first overall draft pick, is worth DJ Moore 2 first rounders and a second rounder. Okay.
Yeah.
It might be. I think with the Panther situation, it probably was that dire, and so the Bears were able to like just take whatever they wanted.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this was a very lopsided trade that really didn't help the Panthers a lot. I mean, yes, they got Bryce Young, but then at the same time, they literally like the rookie of the year, C.J. Stroud, go second.
Yeah.
And the Bears get their probably franchise quarterback, Caleb Williams. I mean, so far, Caleb Williams has looked better than Bryce Young. I think that is not really too much up for the debate. Right?
Yeah, plus like top offensive weapon DJ Moore.
Yeah, so if I have to grade this, I mean, for the Panthers, hindsight, probably like a C right now.
Yeah.
If Bryce Young actually pans out, probably like a B. For the Bears, with the way it's looking right now, it's probably going to be a B+. If Caleb Williams pans out, probably going to go to an A.
Mm.
You agree with that?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. The Broncos and the Seahawks. So the Broncos receive Russell Wilson and a 4th round pick. Seattle receives 2 first round picks, 2 second round picks, a 5th round pick, Drew Lock, Noah Fant, and Shelby Harris. I know, right? The last 3 names are irrelevant. We don't care about
Yeah, no, none of that, but like, you saw how Russell Wilson panned out.
5 picks for a quarterback and a 4th round pick.
And a quarterback that ended up being cut.
Yeah. Who basically also left you all the dead cat money, which we're not even talking about the dead cat money at all.
Which is honestly probably the most detrimental thing at this point.
So, Broncos, hindsight, F.
Yeah.
Seattle, hindsight. I think these picks, I didn't put who they got for those picks, but I think they got Tariq Woolen for one of those picks. Just for that, that's, I think, an auto A.
Yeah.
Throwing the other picks with it, I think it's an A+. I think they completely got the Broncos fleeced.
Getting rid of Russell Wilson at the right time too, and for all the haul they got for him, A, absolutely A, maybe A+.
And of course, the most famous trade
the
in recent
infamous
NFL
trade,
history,
possibly of all time.
Deshaun Watson. So Cleveland receives Deshaun Watson and a 5th round pick. That did a lot of good for them.
Yeah.
The Texans receive 3 first round picks, 2 4th round picks, and 1 5th round pick. And keep in mind, this is after all that news of the sexual assault allegations and stuff came out.
After that, yeah.
So, I mean, either the Browns GM was off his rocker, or
just does not care about team culture at all.
Exactly.
And you know that ends in a suspension. Like, how do you not see that coming? You know.
And no, apart from that, how do you not realize that after the fact, after Deshaun Watson comes back and he's had a few bad games, why aren't you benching the guy? If you don't mind me asking.
Yeah.
Like this season, Deshaun Watson was playing terribly. At least with Jameis Winston, you know you're going to get around 300 yards, 4 TDs, and 4 picks.
Yeah.
You should be fine with that because your defense isn't bad. And as long as your offense is producing, I think you can trust your defense to keep the other team under that many points.
I think it's largely due to, like, they feel the need to justify trading 3 first-round picks for him. And, you know, but you never should do that for a quarterback that hasn't entirely shown that he's trustworthy yet. Like, that was a lot based on, like, potential, and they're just still waiting for that potential to come through, and it's never going to happen. They basically threw all those picks away.
I see what you're saying. I agree with what you're saying. But that doesn't change the fact that this is literally the worst trade of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, the Texans, with all these picks, they could have gotten, like, at least 3 players from all, if they just trade all those picks away.
Yeah.
Like, 3 pretty decent players, too, probably.
Yeah.
Because they're the Browns' picks, and the Browns are never good. I mean, when you think about the season that Deshaun Watson came back, why did the Browns make the playoffs? Because a man named Joe Flacco carried them to the playoffs.
Yeah.
This year, they kept Deshaun for like the entire season basically until he got injured like week 13 or week 12, and you saw what happened. They played terribly. So, I mean, if anything, at the very least, the Cleveland gets the lowest grade I could give, realistically speaking, is an F-.
Yeah.
I'm going to just say that they get negative infinity as their grade.
Less than F- for sure.
For the Texans, I mean, you got this many picks. 6 picks? Some of which turned into C.J. Stroud. Some of which turned into other good players. A+. Like A+++++.
Yeah, I bet like Tank Dell came out of that too, probably. Like,
this is fantastic for the Texans.
Yeah.
Terrible for the Browns. Now, so the last thing we'll close out on, so if you're watching, give us a call in.
Collins.
Because we have, none right now. And we really haven't had any the past few weeks. We were told by y'all that y'all wanted to call in a little bit, so...
Yeah, now's your chance.
We put in a segment for it, but if y'all not going to call in, then...
And next week is not going to be any fun because the Super Bowl is already going to have happened.
Yeah, and based off of our... We'll see how...
I'm not going to want to talk about the Super Bowl next week because either way, I'm not going to like the result.
So what we'll be doing is one player on every team who is on the chopping block.
For some teams, it might be like more general, not necessarily one specific player, because some teams have like massive gaping holes that cover an entire section of their team and aren't really one player.
And by chopping block, what we mean is most to prove, one, or they could be traded or removed.
Yeah, most of mine are like salary casualties, basically, or cap casualties.
Yeah, most of mine are a mix of the two. So, yeah, we'll just get started straight away. Arizona Cardinals. I have Kyler Murray. I know, okay? It's just, he hasn't proved to me yet that he can be that type of guy who can lead you to the playoffs, lead you to the first round or second round. So, I don't know about that. But, yeah. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, if you're going based off of like a lot to prove, he definitely needs to. He definitely has the most to prove. He definitely. This year was his first year back in a while where he was like completely uninjured, and he had very high expectations coming into the season, especially with like Marvin Harrison out there with him too. Now is his chance, and he kind of blew it. So he like if he doesn't have a great season next year, I think he's like actually on the chopping block. Like he's got to go.
Yeah, it's like slowly but steadily turning into a Dak Prescott kind of scenario. I don't think. I mean, Dak Prescott has led his team at least to the divisional round, and they got knocked out because of the Cowboys, and they can't really beat any good team apart from one.
Mm.
So, yeah. Who did you have?
I had Kyler Murray too. I mean, their defense definitely needs help too, but he's the biggest like question mark going into next season.
Atlanta Falcons. I think after watching the Minnesota game, it's their secondary.
Yeah, you could make that argument. Should
I take you off? But I think I should clarify this. Not Jesse Bates. He's a great safety. I just think it's secondary apart from Jesse Bates.
Yeah, you could like I said, you could make that argument. I think if you want to go like not Kirk Cousins, I think Kirk Cousins is the biggest one that's got to go. He's being paid way too much money. They have to find a way to trade him away or something. But if you're not gonna, sorry, what was I? Oh yeah, if you can't figure out how to trade him because he just played so horribly, no one wants him, then I think it's Kyle Pitts, given like he's had way too many opportunities to like finally come through and he's done nothing. So yeah, Kyle Pitts has got to go.
I agree with the Kyle Pitts statement. It's just with Kirk Cousins, I think he's the type of guy who you need to mentor Michael Penix. He's a very expensive mentor.
True, yeah.
If anything, they need to manage to somehow rework his contract.
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello.
Who's this?
Offside opinions.
What?
What the frick? Is that not your son's number?
Oh, hold on. It looks like one of our call-ins got messed up. With the Ravens.
Not sure what happened there. Okay, Ravens. Yeah, I have Justin Tucker. Not much explanation needed there. I think I had his call.
Verizon Wireless, we're unable to complete your call.
What the heck?
Customer service
What is going on?
Okay, so apparently a guy wanted to call in. We tried to call him, and it didn't work. So anyways, moving on. With the Ravens, back to them. Who'd you have?
I had Justin Tucker mainly because of the allegations, but also because he's literally selling the team with every missed kick that he misses. I know a lot of people are wanting me to say Mark Andrews just because he dropped that catch and it screwed him over, but like he had a great season otherwise. He's a very focal point of their offense. So yeah, I think you keep him around at least for another couple of years. He's definitely getting old, but
Yeah, okay. The reason why I had Mark Andrews, he dropped that pass. Okay, he also had a down year.
yeah, but like a couple of mistakes can't define an entire great season.
Not great season. It wasn't.
And also like
It was
Isaiah
not that
Likely's stepping up, but like he's not there yet. I think he needs a little bit more mentorship.
I agree. Buffalo Bills.
I had
Dawson Knox.
yeah,
or
you do
Dalton
yours
Kincaid.
first.
I think their tight end situation. I mean, you can't keep both. Okay, you need. It's like the Packers situation with Jane Reed and Romeo Doubs.
Yeah.
You can't have both. You need to get rid of one, keep the other.
Mhm.
I think you keep Dalton Kincaid and you get rid of Dawson Knox. I think there are plenty of teams that would gladly have Dawson Knox.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just don't think the Bills are gonna use both.
I think it should be Matt Milano because their defense has a lot of issues right now, and Von Miller is also another like potential because he's also getting old and he's expensive. But I think Matt Milano mostly because at least Von Miller's helping out here and there. Matt Milano's spending most of the year on IR every year, and that is not helpful. He's taking their money with him too. So if they want to fix up their defense, I think that's the first step to getting there.
The Carolina Panthers, Adam Thielen.
Yeah, that's fair. He's old, but I think
He's 34. Come on.
I think he's got a little bit of gas left in the tank. He needs to be a receiver too, though, for sure. He cannot keep going as a receiver one, especially at that age. So
Agreed.
that's fair. I think they got to fix up their line too, though. So if they can get rid of some of them, might be helpful. But yeah, I don't think that's fair.
The Bears. I have the O-line. I think that they gave up way too many sacks to Caleb Williams, albeit some of them were Caleb's fault.
Yeah.
But I still think that they are I think on time block.
I think if you have a quarterback that's like Caleb Williams, he just naturally takes way too much time in the pocket, and you can work on fixing that, but that's not going to happen in one season. So yeah, they definitely need some better alignment until he can figure that out.
I think for the Bengals, we'll both be in agreement here. It's the entirety of the defense,
Yep.
except for Trey Hendricks.
They have, you could maybe say like they need a tight end way better than Mike Gesicki, and that's fair.
Well,
but they have the receiver core to make up for it.
Here's the thing on Mike Gesicki. You can rely on him to make these short catches for like limited amount of yards, maybe like 8 to 10 yards. You're not really expecting the guy to be like George Kittle, Brock Bowers level.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's what I'm not expecting out of it.
Yeah.
Because when I have the player of Jamar Chase and T. Higgins caliber, I'm not thinking that, I need to get my tight end involved like crazy.
Yeah, you don't need a top tier receiver.
I'm thinking that, I just need a guy who I can rely on to make, a steady 5-10 yard catch. But then also have other guys who I can rely on to make these crazy plays for 30-40 yards.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the Bengals have on offense. Defensively, they have nobody except for Trey Hendrickson.
Yeah.
I mean, the last player I remember, apart from Trey Hendrickson, is Eli Apple. And that's for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
He's not the type of guy you want to remember. But yeah, it's not looking bright up there for the defense. The Browns. Deshaun Watson.
Yep, that's what I have to because he's taking their money and taking it to the spas.
The Cowboys.
Cowboys.
I had Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
I think it's like what I was saying with Kyler Murray. It's just him, except it's actually him now.
Yeah. I agree that he's past his prime, but I think he can still get him a deep playoff run if he maybe isn't injured the whole year and if their coaching situation gets better somehow, which it probably won't, but it might. And so for that reason I had Brandon Cooks because I believe in Dak Prescott for one more year, but he needs a better receiver too than Brandon Cooks if they want to get anywhere. So
I don't agree.
Dude, Brandon Cooks is so washed.
He's washed, okay, but they do not need a better wide receiver too than him. When you have a guy of CeeDee Lamb's caliber,
yeah, but also like you saw how he was like tapering off at the end of the year. They had no one else. If anything happens to CeeDee Lamb, their entire offense is cooked.
well,
So, like,
I mean, if they have CeeDee Lamb, okay, let's say that he stays healthy.
yeah,
You have a tight end who I'm willing to call in between like a star and mid. Okay,
yeah.
Jake
This season
Ferguson,
was definitely
he
like down.
has
to earth,
games where he
but-
can be really good, and he has games where he's like mid.
Mhm.
So I think he's like a star / mid player.
Yeah.
You have a running back in Rico Dowdle who you can rely on for like 80 yards or something.
Yeah, I think that's it. I was mainly thinking of the run game when I'm like, they got to go all in on the pass game offensively. So I was thinking like, yeah, I don't want to wash wide receiver too.
Denver Broncos, Cortland Sutton.
Yeah, I agree with that. Cortland Sutton, he's a lot of rumors are going around about him leaving, and I totally agree with him. You know, Bo Nix needs more weapons, I think, and better weapons than Cortland Sutton can offer. He had a pretty mid-season, even though his quarterback situation went way up. So, yeah.
If you keep Cortland Sutton as your wide receiver too, I think that's fine.
Yeah.
But I think you can probably still trade him to a team that really needs a wide receiver and get a good haul for him.
And he's also old, so I think they, you know, if they're looking to the future with Bo Nix, I think they need someone younger.
Detroit.
Wait for it.
They stole frauds!
Jared Goff, baby, get him out of here.
Yeah, it's obvious. Jared Goff is a fraud!
Dude, they are a super team with anyone but Jared Goff. At least someone that'll stay out of the way.
Give me Merchant Brock Purdy. Give me anybody not named Jared Goff.
Dude, they need a system quarterback who will stay out of the way and not throw 5 interceptions in a game.
So Jared Goff is a fraud! Okay, moving on. Green Bay Packers. Jaden Reed or Romeo Doubs?
Yeah, I think Jaden Reed, you know, Romeo Dobbs was kind of in and out, but towards the end of the season, he really picked it up. Jaden Reed, yeah, he was like really
Yeah,
inconsistent.
it was in and out with Jaden Reed. I mean, the beginning of the season, really strong. Mid-season, not too good. End of season, again, pretty strong. So
Yeah.
just that kind of, it's not a great balance for, they're both wide receiver twos.
Yeah.
Okay? Straight to the heart of that, they're both wide receiver twos. You need a wide receiver one.
Yep.
Houston Texans. I'm thinking it's the O-line. I think that's why C.J. Stroud had a backwards year, is because his O-line did get worse, and I think that really factored into him having the sophomore slump season.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have as much time to throw, and I think with him, he's a better version of Caleb Williams when it comes to like pocket awareness and throwing the ball.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he doesn't like throw the ball as fast as you'd want him to.
Mm. Yeah, I think that's a good point, but I think getting you there would be easier if you got rid of Stephon Diggs, which he's going to hit free agency, and I don't think they're going to re-sign him. So I think that's probably the route they're going to go.
I think you keep Diggs until Tank Dell comes back and you see the severity of what's happened to Tank Dell.
Is he not planning to?
Well, no, I don't know if he's planning to come back or not, so I won't tell you the information on that.
Okay.
But just like the nature of that leg injury
Yeah.
happening again to him, I think that alone is enough for you to try to keep Diggs as your wide receiver 2 for the moment.
Yeah.
Moving on from them, the Colts. I'm saying Anthony Richardson. You could also make an argument for Michael Pittman.
Yeah. I think if it's a player that needs to prove something, absolutely Anthony Richardson. Like Kyler Murray, though, he needs more time to develop. I think with Kyler Murray, I was like, you got next year. If not, you're out of here. But like give Anthony Richardson another year or two. He had a pretty bad year, but also this was effectively his first season in the NFL, so I think you give him some time.
The Jaguars. You can make an argument for Trevor Lawrence because he's a lot to prove. You can make an argument for Travis Etienne after the horrible year he had.
Yeah.
You can make an argument for their entire receiver core for being basically non-existent.
Yeah.
The only person you can't really make an argument for on that offense is Evan Ingram.
Yeah, he's been there pretty consistently the whole time. Yeah.
So, yeah.
I put Gabe Davis because I'm so mad at how little he did with how much he got paid.
$25,000 for every yard?
Dude, that is just insane that they
if
paid
I
him
get
that
that
much.
chance, I will get 20 yards and I will be happy.
You're set for life.
It's only 50.
He did so
it's
little.
Only $500,000.
Yeah.
Calm down. But yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Moving on from the Jaguars, the Chiefs. I think this one's fairly obvious. It's D-Hop.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. He did not do as much as people had hoped he would, and he's it was fair that he didn't do much on the Titans, but it's become clear that it's more his age and less his situation. So yeah, he's got to go.
The Raiders. So for the Raiders, I said Jacoby Myers. The reason being is he's a solid wide receiver too. But I think with Brock Bowers, your tight end 1, if you get that wide receiver 1 and then you just fill it out with pretty much the rest of the mid players that they have,
yeah,
I think they can be fine. And I don't think that Jacoby Myers is really helping that situation at all.
Yeah, I had Alexander Madison because I think if they get a receiver 1, I think Jacoby Myers will keep it up great as a receiver 2. But they got to get the run game going, and it's not going to happen with Alexander Madison.
The Chargers. I had J.K. Dobbins. I mean, he has the history of ACL injuries, and he's coming back from another injury again.
Yeah.
I just think that he's the one who has to go from that.
I mean, he had a great comeback year, and that makes you have a bit more of an inflated idea of how well he did. He did way better than everyone expected, but I don't think he's good enough to carry them through the playoffs. So I think that's a fair point. I had Quentin Johnston because they got to get someone better for that kind of receiver 1 slot.
The Rams. Cooper Kupp already has been declared as a trade option. Easy enough. Cooper Kupp. Moving on.
Yeah.
The Dolphins. Devon Achane is who I had.
Yeah, I don't know if I fully agree with that because I think if you could figure out how to do the dual threat speed and power with what the Lions got going, I think that'd be great. But yeah, he's got to go as a running back 1. He's not powerful enough.
He's a washed down version of Jahmyr Gibbs. And by that I mean he is Jahmyr Gibbs without the Lions O-line.
Yeah.
I mean, if Jahmyr Gibbs didn't have that O-line, okay, I don't think that I don't think that he would be as good as a runner as he would be as just what Devon Achane is, catch merchant. He's literally just one-dimensional CMC.
Yeah. I think that's definitely fair. I think the main thing for me, though, is get Tyreek Hill out of there because he's ruining your team culture and he's taking a lot of money and he's not doing that much. So
yeah, he's also having a lot of children at the same time.
Yeah.
But regardless of that, I think it's Achane. The Vikings. So for the Vikings, the reason why I've said J.J. McCarthy is because the Vikings organization is putting a lot of hope into the fact that they're not going to re-sign Sam Darnold. And I think as a QB, he has to prove that, yes, you made the right decision, and I am the guy who will lead y'all to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. And
win y'all one, hopefully, in my tenure with y'all.
I think I like J.J. McCarthy because he's a good system quarterback, which, Sam Darnold was definitely not. Honestly, Sam Darnold was the exact opposite of system quarterback. He has really good bright spots, but he also makes a ton of mistakes. I think after that, we need someone who will make a good play here and there where he'll scramble for 20 yards or something like that, but also not throw a crazy amount of interceptions. I think that'd be definitely more the best fit for our team. So I put Garrett Bradbury. It could really be any of our linemen except for Christian Darrisaw at this point, and maybe keep Ryan and Neal around. I think we need to, but Garrett Bradbury's been around for way too long and caused way too many problems and been way too mid when he's not causing problems. We got to get him out of there.
Moving on, the Patriots. We'll be in agreement. Ramondre Stevenson.
Yeah.
Cool. Moving on. The Saints. Spencer Rattler. The Saints organization did say that they have faith in Spencer Rattler.
I
For
don't know
which
how
reason
they
I
can
put his
think
name
that.
on here. I don't agree with the Saints organization. I don't think they should have any faith in Spencer Rattler. But the reason why I'm saying Spencer Rattler is because of the fact that the Saints said that they have faith in him.
Yeah, I had Alvin Kamara because he's, I think he's going to hit free agency anyway, but, like, they've been paying him a lot, and he didn't have a horrible season, but...
He had a good season. It's just that he's now becoming Michael Thomas, just a little bit better. He's injury prone now. I think that's the issue with them. Giants, I think we've both be in agreement with this again. Dexter Lawrence.
Yeah, I mean, it has a lot of controversy because he played so phenomenal this year, but if they really need a rebuild at this point, so they got to get rid of all the old players that are taking a lot of money.
I think Dexter Lawrence is in the same conversation as Miles Garrett.
Yeah, he needs to go to like a win now team.
Yeah,
which is not
that's what I meant. I mean, like he needs to go to win now team, not like skill wise. Miles Garrett is very, very good.
Yeah.
But I think Dexter Lawrence needs to go to that team that's like either something like the Cardinals to generate a lot of that pressure, somebody who can like take that team to the playoffs, kind of.
Yeah.
He can be that leader on defense. It's just I don't think that with the Giants it's going to pan out.
Yeah.
The Jets, I think again we'll be in agreement
A-Rod,
here.
yeah.
This is Aaron Rodgers.
Not even a conversation.
It's not even like a debate.
Yeah.
The Eagles, I think again we'll probably be in agreement here. It's Bryce Hill.
Yeah, there's not really any like glaring issue on the rest of the team except for the fact that they're paying Bryce Huff as much as they are and he's doing as little as he is.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
The Steelers, I had George Pickens and Justin Fields.
Yeah. Justin Fields, I think honestly should stay over Russell Wilson because he's like definitely more fit for like a really good QB2. So I think for that reason I keep him around. George Pickens, if they want to keep him as a receiver 1, absolutely not.
Agreed.
But like if they can figure out like someone to get over as a receiver 1 and keep him as a receiver 2, then I think he should stay around. For the Steelers though, I had Patrick Queen just like basically same reason as Bryce Huff.
Yeah, Justin Fields, I see your point on the QB2. I just think that if you are the Steelers and you know that Russ is your QB1 for right now, you're probably not going to have... Okay, Tomlin's going to take you out on a 9-8 record. Congrats. But I think you need to find a way to somehow draft a QB either late. Like, if Carson Beck declared for draft, I would say just draft him late and then have him sit behind Russ for a few years and learn. But I don't know how the Steelers will play that. I think that they're going to be in need of a QB because Justin Fields definitely won't cut it as a QB1.
Yeah.
It's just going to be weird to see how that plays out. The 49ers. I think I didn't have any players for the 49ers. Okay.
Yeah.
Why? Because, well, I just said that cap casualties are going to take somebody.
Yeah.
Whether that's Juszczyk, CMC, Debo, take your pick.
I think there's a fair argument to be made for any of those people. Yeah, I think really any of those decisions could be the right decisions.
One thing I will say for them, though, is they have to focus on somehow getting Brock Purdy the extension. Mm-hmm. If they don't get Purdy the extension, I think it'll be a huge blow for their organization. The Seahawks. Defensively, they're really good.
Yeah.
Offensively, they're also doing pretty good. I'm saying the O-line.
Yeah, that has definitely been a problem. For me, I said that it's either got to be Tyler Lockett or DK Metcalf because both of them, Tyler Lockett, it's just his age. DK Metcalf, it's the hand injury. Neither of them deserve to be like as high up and in terms of targets and paychecks as they are. I think one of them's got to go and the other one's got to be like a receiver 2 or 3 behind Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Yeah, I think Tyler Lockett needs to stay as a wide receiver 2. And DK needs to be shipped out to Patriots.
Yeah.
To the Patriots. I think that would be the best fit for him. The Buccaneers. In general, it's just the defense.
Yeah.
The defense is old. It's not really, as good as it used to be. The offense with Chris Godwin and Mike Evans definitely needs that boost on offense on the wide receiver core, which they're getting with Jalen McMillan. He's been playing pretty phenomenally. But I think definitely defensive issues.
Yeah, I think... Yeah, I had Rachaad White, but that was mainly because for a while this season they were trying to treat him like a running back 1. If him and Bucky Irving kind of share carries equally based on the situation, I think that'd be a great choice too. So yeah.
The Titans, I mean, everybody's so bad at that team. I'm sorry. I said Will Levis.
Yeah.
Meme God.
Any of the decisions they made this past offseason would be a great one to reverse this one. I had L'Jarius Sneed just because he honestly was probably the one that did the least with compared with like how high his expectations were. I want him to keep Will Levis around so people can keep memeing about him. But
the Commanders, Frankie Louvu. I mean, bro jumped offside so many times. You cannot simply. I mean, okay. On a more serious note, I don't know who you'd put for the Commanders.
yeah.
I mean, you can make an argument that they need a wide receiver too, who's actually kind of good. But then you look at it and you're like, well, Olamide Zaccheaus, I think that's how you're supposed to pronounce his name, played pretty phenomenally towards the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I think the O-line maybe take some adjustments. But I think the most glaring hole is defensively with not really generating a lot of pressure.
Yeah, the pass rush just needs to like add some stars there. Not really anyone on the chopping block.
So, yeah, I think that's the Commanders need to do. It's just defensively.
Yeah.
Dexter Lawrence second, Myles Garrett, something like that.
Yeah.
But with that, our time is up for today. So thank y'all for tuning in. We will see y'all next week.
See you after the Super Bowl.
Yeah. If the Eagles win, we'll both wear green. If the Chiefs win, we'll both
Kill ourselves.
no, we won't do that. But if the Chiefs win, we'll be